Welcome to Tuesday of our third week. We're doing subtraction. We forgot to record, but here we go. If we did $10 using to pay for something that cost $3, then the store would keep $3 and give back $7. We could imagine that we got rid of that $10 bill, replaced it with a total of 10 ones, and then moved them into the right place. 3 for the store, 7 for the customer. And then at the bottom, it was saying that, by the way, borrowing is what we call this, but that's kind of a weird word because when you borrow something in other situations, you give it back. So we're sort of taking the 10 and breaking it or fragmenting it or splintering it into 10 pieces instead of being a group of 10 one thing. Okay, now we can have a brave volunteer. So somebody take 35 ones and take away 26, so there's 9 left. Show me how that would work. If you're having trouble getting to actually wiggling things about, just feel free to boss me around. I can be the scribe. Say, move the 10 here, or replace the 10 with 10 ones, or move some ones here, or things like that.
What was the question again to do?
This top one in blue, how would we show 35 minus 26 equals 9? You have the 35 to start with.
So pull 35 out with the bills?
We need to pull out 26 of them and have 9 left.
Okay. Can I just grab one of these?
That's from a different problem. So
Right. Well, we're missing a dollar bill.
yes, you have a 10, but you need to
Oh,
move
okay.
1 instead of the whole 10. So I would replace that 10 with 10 ones. So take one of these ones, and then if you're on a computer, you can Control D, I'm not sure, or Control C and then Control V for copy and paste. So make a copy of the 1.
Duplicate. Oh, there we go.
Ta-da! There you go. So
Thank
let's
you.
delete that. Just click on the 10 and hit delete.
Delete this 10?
Yep. And we're going to replace it with 10 ones. So here's that extra 1, and I'm just going to hit delete a bunch for you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Cool.
So now you have 10 ones, and since you wanted to move 1 more over, you can.
Thank you.
Make sense? I know half the problem is what does your teacher want anyway? Okay, another brave volunteer. Thank you, Liv. Second one, we have 132. We want to move 94 out and leave 38. How would we do that? Someone's starting well, but we're counterfeiting a bunch of money out of nowhere. Is it okay if I touch the things you're in the middle of using and organize them a little bit? So we have 100. And then we have 32. So here's the 30. And here's the 2. This money, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's make more. 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's $10 that we just sort of made out of the thin air with the duplicate key. So if we want to be fair, we can't just get more money for no reason. Let's replace one of these 10s with them. So I'm going to take this 10 and delete it. Now we still have the 132, right? 100, 110, 120, 130, 132. I have enough ones now to do whatever I want with ones. What I don't have is 90 to get rid of 94. So I should do the same thing, but get rid of the 100. This bill is too big. It's not helpful. I want to replace it with something else. So what should I do? You can do it, or just boss me around and I will do the nosing.
Do we add more tens?
Yeah, I can say, let's say goodbye to this 100. And there's one. Yeah, one moment. I'm going to move this up out of the way so it's not interfering. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I've replaced the 100 with 10 ones. I have lots of 10s. I have lots of ones. I can do whatever I want with 10s and ones now. I have oodles of them. So I wanted to make 94 in some place. Let's just start here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I have left is the 38, the 30 over here, and the 8 over here. 94 on this spot, 38 on that spot. Let me get a big black marker and label everything. So this was my 9. This was my 26. This was my 38. And this was my 94. Questions about what happened on this slide? So now we're going to do the same thing, but what happens if we like coins instead of bills? If you don't recognize it, this is a dollar coin, a Sacagawea dollar, and then 10s and 1s with dimes and pennies. If I want to do 43 minus 21, well, I can do that. So here, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 3, 1, 2, 3. Everyone okay that I have 43 to start with? If I want to move 21 away, I can do that. Here's, oops, move away 20 and move away 1. What's left? 22. So I had the 43, I took 21 and put it here, and I have 22 left. Somebody want to do the green problem? 200 minus 42. You could use coins, you could use bills, make copies of things however much you need to. Someone tell me how to move things if you don't want to be the person with the mouse. How should I make 200?
Two $200 bills.
Oh, okay. I'm off to a good start. That's not going to get me very far though, because I can't get rid of 42 very easily. So just like in the previous slide, if something is annoyingly big, I should shatter it into smaller pieces. What do I replace this one with? That would be useful.
If we're making 200, then tens.
And we can keep one of them as 100. That's not a problem. But that one I'll get rid of.
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Now I have a big pile of tens. I'm also going to need some ones because I want to get rid of 42.
Okay, so take a $10 bills.
So take a 10
Swap it with a 10.
and swap it for 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now I have my 10 ones. Get them out of the way of the third problem. So I have my 200. Everyone okay believing me that this is 200? There's 90. 90 plus 10 is 100 and another 100. I want to move away 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then everything else is going to be the 158. It's a little sloppy that you can't quite see there's 50. Let me make that better. Okay, now you can see that there's 50. Should we do the red one, or have we had enough of this? I'm happy to do it if you want.
Either way for me, I mean, might as well do it.
As well do it. Okay, bills or coins? Which one?
Bills. Both.
Bills. Okay, 88. Not sure I have room for both, but I can fix that. So 1 moment. I'm going to make a new copy of this and clear it. Okay. Okay, now I have lots of room. So I want 88. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, if I'm doing it with bills. And then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I'm doing it with coins, so here we are, totally different problem, or a different version of the same problem. Then I need 88, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to take away 29. So I can get started fine. I can get rid of 20 But then when I try moving these ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need one more and I ran out. Where can I get another one?
From the tens?
From the tens. I'll just grab any 10 and say, goodbye, I'm turning you into 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now I have 10 ones. So most of them I'll stick back over here, but one of them I wanted to move over. So this part was 59, and this part was 29. Doing it on the other side, it looks the same, just with different objects. I want to start moving my 29 things. So there's my 2 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I need one more penny. I don't have it. So I'll take any one of these and say goodbye, replace you with 10 ones. We can put the one we needed over there and kind of keep the rest organized up top. So this was also 59, but now 59 cents. And this is 29 cents. Questions about that? Okay. Now we can do the same thing, but not use the money because it fits on the page better. So if I want to do 84 minus 15, I'm going to run into the same problem. I have 4 things and I want to take away 5. I can take away the first 4, no problem. But how do I take away the 5th one? Where do I get a 5th one to take away? It's not in the ones column to start with.
You borrow from the 8?
So I borrow from the 10. Yeah, if I had 80 and I take away one of those 10s, whether I think of it as a bill or a coin, then I have 7 of them left. So I'm going to change this into 70 and 14. But of course, we don't really write it like that. Does that make sense? So 14 minus 5, now I have 14 ones. Take away 5 of them and there's 9. And I had 70. This 1 is really a 10, right? Because it's in the tens place. 15 is 10 and 5. So 70 minus 10 is 6. So I get 69 as my answer. We can always check subtraction. If I take 69 and count up by 15, do I get up to 84? Yes, I did it right. I did not make a careless mistake. Ready to do the green one? I will write it kind of with one number above each other. Where am I going to need to do any borrowing this time?
From the hundreds?
From the hundreds, exactly. I can do 5 minus 0. That's not a problem at all. But I can't say I have no 10s and I take away 7 10s. This is like on this problem where we said there were $200 bills and I need some 10s. So let's take one of those hundreds, get rid of the 4, make it only a 3. And then I get 10 more 10s. So 10 10s minus 7 10s is 3. 3 minus nothing is 3. And there I get my answer. It's probably true that this looks nicer than that one. Nobody writes things this way, kind of awkward. But if you like to write your tens as tens, you could, if it helps you get the right answer. Okay, one more, 385 minus 197. Now where will we need to borrow?
From the hundreds?
Again, from the hundreds, yes. Will I need them for tens? I'm going to turn that into a 2. I have 10 that I just got and 8 already, so that's now an 18. I can certainly do 18 minus 9 now. I can do 2 minus 1, that's fine. Can I do 5 minus 7? No, the 5 is not big enough. So now I will say that 18, I'm going to take one of those 10s. Now I have 17 of them. And 10 and 5 makes 15. This might not be how you're used to writing it. Write it however you want. I'm just showing you different options, because that's my job. So 15 things minus 7 of them is 8. 17 tens. Think of them as $10 bills or $10 dime or 10-cent dimes. But 17 tens minus 9, well, that's also 8. 2 minus 1 is 1. Questions on this page? Anyone you want me to write a different way? I can write any of them the way I've written them in other ones, or just more traditionally.
What do you mean by like writing it another way?
Here, I'll show you. I'm going to do a screen snip of this one and make a copy. Go to the copy. Oh, okay. So personally, what I wrote here kind of looks nice to me. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I have fancy colors. And if I was doing math on paper, I might have some colored pens to do the same kind of thing. If I was going back to review before a quiz or a test, or if I was working in a group, then the future me or the person I'm working with could really see what happens. In the red, we were borrowing, breaking apart 100 and making 10 tens. In the blue, we were borrowing a 10, breaking it apart and making 10 ones. And the X's are showing me that I don't have a 3 anymore. Now I have 2. Or I don't have an 8 anymore. Now I have 18. I don't have an 18 anymore. Now I have a 7, and so on. Does that make sense how I wrote it? That's probably not how a book would write it. If I go to either of our 2 textbooks, I bet they will instead have something that looks more like this. 385 minus 197. And I'm going to take the 3 and make it a 2. Then I'm going to put a 1 here, like it's supposed to be maybe like over here, kind of reading that it's 18. But to me, that doesn't look as much like 18. And then we're going to get rid of that 8 and make a 7. And then put a 1 here. And again, that sort of looks like 15. But if I was adding, that makes me look like 1 plus 5 plus 7, adding that column, right? So that's a different style of writing it that takes up less space, but isn't as clear after the fact. If we were archaeologists discovering this, it wouldn't help us to understand what's happening as clearly. If I was working with a group, if I was a future me studying for a quiz in a week or a test in 3 weeks, then this wouldn't be as helpful to me as that one. But a lot of people like this because it's quick. Of course, the subtraction at the end is the same. 15 minus 7 is 8. 17 minus 9 is 8. 2 minus 1 is 1. It's just how we write the borrowing that's different. So write it how you want. If you don't have any established habits, then I would sort of pick what you like best. And I tried to model 3 different ways here. You could rewrite things completely as 10s and 1s. If I was doing that in this example, then I would say this is actually 385 minus 197. And I need to take the 300 and make it a 200 to get 180. Take the 180, take away 10 to get 170. And then that becomes 15. So if you break everything apart so the place value is written out and not just kind of hidden the way we normally write numbers, then some people like that way. So figure out which way of writing it you like. You could write out the place values. I sort of did a sloppy thing here. You could be very clear here. You can use the shorthand, that's more common. Figure out how you like to write the subtraction with borrowing and build up a good habit. The good news is that in real life, you pretty much never need to do this. We all have calculators. We all have phones with calculator apps. It's only really on a math test that you might need to show your work for subtraction. But we're here because of a math test, right? So there we go. Something to think about. In a previous one of these to-doodles, we were using playing cards to help us picture addition with carrying. If we had 5 and 6 being 11, we were temporarily putting 11 in the one spot, and we were picturing that with playing cards. 5 and 6 is like a jack, because when we keep counting 8, 9, 10, jack, right? Jack is after 10, it must be 11. But the jack was like a reminder. We don't want to keep this as more than 9, because that's not how place value works. I should take this 11 and combine the 1 and the 5, the 1 from the 10 and the 4 and make a 5. I'm saying that poorly. I'm sorry. So we use playing cards to do that, but not with this to-doodle. Why not? How come it wasn't useful to have 11s, 12s, and 13s as jack, queens, and kings? So look back at what we did and see if you can answer that. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.